Hey guys, TrepChains here on the Diablo IV beta with a tour of Kyovashad. Kyovashad is the main city in Fractured Peaks, which is the first zone you'll go to when you enter Diablo IV. So let's take a look around. I'm going to just go check out all the vendors. So in here we have the weapons vendor and the armor vendor. You can obviously buy weapons from the weapons vendor and armor from the armor vendor. Importantly, if you have things in your inventory you don't need anymore, you can sell them back for gold here. Next to them, very importantly, is the blacksmith. So at the blacksmith, you can break any equipment down that you have for materials using the salvage options. You can also repair your gear. If you die, you lose about 10% durability if you revive at a checkpoint. So you'll have to come here and repair your gear. The other interesting thing here at the blacksmith is upgrading your items. So each item you can upgrade as long as you have the required materials and gold. So in this case, if I try and upgrade this dagger from level 1 to level 2, you can see here it's going to give me a little bit more DPS and a little bit more of all those other stats using some iron, some silver and gold to get that upgrade. And there we go. My dagger is now at item level 2. So doing that is going to help me make my character stronger. Heading down this way, we do have the healer, where you can show up and get healed and refill your potions. Heading down this way, we effectively have the gambler, known as the curiosity vendor. As you're completing some world events, you will earn obols, and you can see those down here. With these, you can come to the curiosity vendor and purchase loot. So you can see here different slots give all different things. For example, I might take an amulet here for 60 obols. There we go. And there's also whispering keys. You will find some chests around the open world that need a whispering key to open. So apart from particular items, you can also spend some of your obols on whispering keys to be able to open those chests when you come across them. Heading around now towards the Alchemist. The Alchemist is where you're going to be able to upgrade your potions. So firstly, your healing potions. You can see here I've unlocked to about level 20. As you go to upgrade, it requires materials such as flowers, berries, etc., as well as a certain level requirement. In this case, the next one I could upgrade to will be when I hit level 30, but I do already have the materials required for that. You do want to keep upgrading your potion as high as you possibly can because it's going to give you more life as you go up. So it's going to basically help keep you alive if you keep upgrading those potions. Also here you have the ability to craft elixirs. These are basically going to give you a little buff for a while. So in this case, I could craft one of cold resistance, which will give me cold resistance and experience for 30 minutes. Or I could craft one that is the Iron Barb elixir, giving me armor, thorns, and the experience for 30 minutes. So basically having any of these active will give you that 5% experience boost, as well as whichever other buffs you have selected based on obviously having the materials available to craft it.
Look.
Here you can also do things like refine some of your resources and craft incenses, which is not available right now, so I can't show you that. Moving around, we're going to head over to the stable. So at the stable is where you can basically get mounts. However, the first mount you have to have completed a quest, Donan's Favor, which we believe is in Act 2. So I can't get a mount right now as I haven't done that in this beta. But once you have your mounts unlocked, this is where you come to manage your mounts and your stable. Heading up here, one of, I think, the most important vendors is the Occultist. Coming into the Occultist here, this is where you can basically change the legendary power on an item. For example, if I had this legendary item here and I wanted to change the legendary stat, if I either had an aspect in my inventory that I had extracted from a legendary or one in my Codex of Power, I can basically make that into another item. So in this case, my Codex of Power, I could technically put this particular aspect, damaging an elite enemy grants you barrier, onto my pants. And my pants in this case, if I did this, would change from their current legendary stat, including the smoke grenade, to the new legendary stat, including the barrier. You just need, obviously, some mats and some gold as well to do that. I don't actually want to do that right now, so I'm going to take that back out, but that shows how you would do it. You can also extract an aspect from a legendary item. So similarly, you would place your legendary item that you want to take that legendary stat off of, and it would offer you the aspect back, keeping in mind the legendary item that you're placing there is actually going to be destroyed in the process. So again, I don't want to do that right now, but just showing that's what you do there. There's also sigil crafting available at the Occultist, and importantly also enchanting items. So this allows you to re-roll a stat on one of your items. For example, my pants, once again. If I decided that I didn't really want this intelligence and maybe another stat would help me more, I could, if I had the appropriate materials, which I don't in this case, click on the intelligence and say I want to change that stat to something else. I believe you can only do one stat item replacement per legendary, but that's still really helpful to make your legendaries as good as they can actually be. Really helps you refine your character over time. Moving up here, we have the jewelry vendor. This is very similar to the armor and weapons vendor we saw previously. You can buy some jewelry here. And also, if you have things that you want to sell for gold, you can sell them here and get the gold back from that. The actual jeweler here is going to help you upgrade your gems. So when you have enough of the lower quality gems, you can come here, including gold cost, and upgrade those gems to a higher quality gem. These gems can go into sockets on your gear. So you can see here I have an amethyst in my chest armor. So wherever you've got a socket, you can be putting one of these in, and you ideally want to make sure that you've got the highest quality gem in there that you possibly can have. The upgraded gems will have slightly higher stats for each of those slots of putting it into. So in this case, for a ruby, it'd be slightly more overpowered damage in a weapon, slightly more maximum life in armor, or slightly more fire resistance if it's socketed in jewelry. Also at the jeweler, you can unsocket an item, so you can remove a gem from a piece of armor, get it back, and also you can add sockets to an item. For example, if I wanted my pants to have a socket and I had enough of the appropriate material and gold, I could add a socket here, which would then allow me to put a gem in. Finally, you can upgrade jewelry at the jeweler. So similarly to how we were able to upgrade our armor pieces and our weapons at the blacksmith, you can upgrade your jewelry pieces here, assuming you have the correct materials and the gold, to again make them that little bit better each time. Also importantly, in Kyovashad, you've basically got your little home away from home here. So your stash is here where you can store items. You can see here I've got things like my gems stored. I've got some legendaries that I don't need, but not sure yet if I want to extract those aspects, and a few other items in there. So that can all be stored in your stash there and accessed as such. You also have your wardrobe. Your wardrobe is super cool as far as I'm concerned. Any item that you've previously broken down, you can basically use the transmog 4. So here, let's say I was going to my chest armor and I wanted a different look. I could click through all of these to decide what chest armor I actually wanted to wear. Similarly, there's also pigments for these. So you can click through and decide on the color scheme that you want to be working with on your item. So you go through, pick what you like, and then pick, you know, your new look, your new style, and then make sure you click confirm look to save. Basically allows you to keep customizing your look, not just obviously your items and upgrades as we we're talking about elsewhere. The waypoint's pretty much in the center of the city and easy to access everything from there. One more thing important in Kyovashad is the world tier statue. So again, this is the main city in Fractured Peaks and presumably all other major cities in each major act. This is where you change how difficult the game is for you. You can see here I'm starting on Veteran, which is pretty normal for most Diablo veterans. If you want a really easy game, you can start on Adventurer, but I do recommend starting on Veteran. As you level up higher, you're going to want to increase this world tier. For example, once you're level 50, you're going to want to be moving into Nightmare. And once you're level 70, you're going to want to be moving into Torment to make the game more challenging and hopefully therefore more fun. So this is where you go to change that and confirm your world tier at this lovely statue of Anarius. That pretty much covers it for a little walk around Kyovashad and all the different vendors, what they can do for you to help you make your character as good as you can make them. Thank you very much for watching, and GG!